these final weeks, Democrats find themselves in the position of fighting to keep from losing ground with black voters, especially young black men. Coming up, we will have the GOP perspective on this, but joining us right now is a very familiar face who has been working overtime on behalf of the Harris-Walz campaign, Attorney General Keith Ellison.
Great to be with you, as always.
And you've known Kamala Harris for years.
Yeah, yeah, great person.
You are out campaigning. You're going to be in Wisconsin. You're going to be in Pennsylvania next week, even more places. I want to ask you about the polls, some polls that suggest really this loss in black support. She still has overwhelming black support, but loss compared to 4 years ago. Back in 2020, Joe Biden got 90% of the black vote. That's really amazing. 9% to Donald Trump. Let's look fast forward to 2024. And you've got Kamala Harris at 78%, Donald Trump at 15%. And then if you go even further into what might be happening into the gender gap here, and there's a gender gap amongst all races, you find that 70% of black women are supporting Kamala Harris, or 70% of black men are supporting Kamala Harris, 83% of black women are supporting Kamala Harris. Why does Kamala Harris have less support amongst black voters than Joe Biden?
Well, as a person who the polls don't always capture very well, I can tell you that I'm not sure those numbers are right. But let's just act like they are. It means we have a lot of work to do. It means we have to help voters understand that Donald Trump, quite frankly, has been hostile to black people for a long time. I mean, he was sued for racial discrimination in housing. He called for the execution of these innocent Central Park Five. He's never really gone away from this race baiting. I mean, my argument to anyone who asks is that don't vote for somebody who clearly doesn't like you, and so this is the argument we have to make, and we have to get out there and make it.
Well, let's ask about the gender gap, not just amongst black voters, but you have always been able to appeal in your campaigns to female voters. You always have gotten them in big numbers. What is going on with that gender gap, both amongst blacks and amongst all voters?
Well, I think, quite honestly, that a lot of the abortion issue is clearly very important, but it's also the respect issue. I mean, Donald Trump, a few years ago, said grab women by their private parts. He's demonstrates contempt for women all the time, and I think women know that, and so they're responding by saying, I don't want this guy. I mean, a lot of women say, would I want to work for this guy? Would I want my daughter working for this guy? And clearly the answer must be no. Yeah. And so women are like, no way, and I think some men perhaps, and I'm really just guessing here, might kind of find his toxic masculinity attractive. But I mean, that's why I think people ought to look at the example that Tim Walz presents. Loves his kids, but he's a coach, he's a hunter, he's a military man. You can be macho and still be kind and compassionate to your family members and believe in female equality. Tim proves that with his life example. And so I think that we're going to make up the ground. I'm not sure these polls are right, but I'm not going to treat them like they're wrong, because we just got to get every single vote we can.
Well, I was going to ask you, I mean, is this race as close as these polls reflect, and especially in swing states and across the country?
I think the answer is probably yes. I do have my doubts. I mean, I've been in my own elections when I've been down and then I end up winning. So I'm not sure the polls are right. And I think that more and more these days it's harder to poll because, people don't answer the phone. People have cell phones now. There's a lot of problems when it comes to accurate polling. But the reality is we better treat it like it's right. And I always run like I'm 10 points down. I don't care if I'm 10 points ahead.
Well, that's I tell people that I tried to reach you once on election night, and you were out door knocking at 7:30 at night with Jacob Fry.
And we'll be again.
Well, again. But seriously, in terms of the popular vote, it looks like Kamala Harris may win the popular vote. But the past few elections, Democrats have captured the popular vote, but the Electoral College has not gone their way.
It's a flaw in the system.
Well, I know that Tim Walz said it's time to do away with the Electoral College. That's not happening.
Well, you're not now, but I mean, but I think it's a long-term project that's very worthy because I think that the president should be who most people want.
Okay. So, what are you doing the next weeks? Just going wherever they tell you to go to campaign?
I'm going wherever they tell me to go. I'm doing a countdown on my X account every day. I'm going to door knocks all over Minneapolis, and I'm doing whatever I can. I don't have anything right now I have a wonderful, great staff, and I've told them that call me if something's super important, but I'm going to be campaigning to try to make sure we have good folks in the White House and in Congress.
All right. Well,
and the state legislature, we need to keep that majority.
All right, that's a big one coming up too. All right, Attorney General Keith Ellison, always a pleasure, and thank you to your family for coming in. And
can I say, go Vikings, go Lynx?
Go Vikings, go Lynx.
Absolutely.
He's on his way to the Vikings game. So
yes, I am.
Thanks for stopping by.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely.
All right.
Well, you just heard the Democratic perspective on what Vice President Harris is doing to win over black voters, especially black men. The Republican National Committee is the primary governing body of the Republican Party. Joining us right now is one of two RNC committee members from Minnesota, AK Kamara. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, let's put up those numbers again, because you have a very different spin than the Attorney General. Let's put up those numbers. 90% for Biden, black voters in 2020, 9% for Trump. This is 2020. Let's go to the polling now in 2024. Harris is getting 78%, Trump getting 15%. And then if you go to a gender difference, 70% of black men are supporting Kamala Harris, 83% of black women. What is going on there from your perspective?
So from my perspective, this is a trend that's continuing nationally. I think that there are a lot of black men that see a hero in President Trump, a guy that's willing to stand up for what he actually believes in. And I think if you just understand hip hop culture, if you understand black culture, you know, empowering men is an important aspect of what we actually represent. And I think Donald Trump is a perfect avatar for that. And the trend has been continuing. When you talk about those polls, those are national. In Minnesota back in 2020, Biden versus Trump, the exit polls showed that 30% of black males actually voted for Trump.
What about all the other things that are going on with Mr. Trump right now? I mean, he at a campaign rally, he actually talked about, and forgive me, Arnold Palmer in the locker room taking a shower and what he looked like.
Sure.
I mean, it seems something completely out of bounds. Also swearing, there's obviously families in the audience. Isn't that something, a turnoff for black voters?
No, I don't think so. Listen, I think that Trump...
It's not a turnoff.
I don't think so. I think he represents what average people are like. He's a funny guy. So I think what happens a lot with Trump, and if you watch him in context, he cracks jokes all the time. Just like if I'm sitting with a bunch of my buddies, we're gonna crack jokes on a bunch of different things. And so I think it's more humanizing to see Trump do these things. And I know that sometimes the media is gonna say, is he losing a step? Trump is not the most polished guy, but he is 100% entertaining. And I think, again, that's why you've seen this demographic grow with Trump. And it's not just black males. You're seeing a growth in black females. You're seeing a growth in millennials, Gen Z men especially, huge numbers that they're turning out for Trump, Hispanic males as well. So I think it's because Donald Trump hits that nerve where he's like, this is like an average guy, even though he's a successful billionaire.
Right. Well, some of his fortune was built on the backs of discriminating in housing in New York City, where I am from, and that is pretty well documented, as is his father. In terms of Minnesota, do you think Trump realistically has a chance of winning Minnesota? Yeah,
I think he does. I would push back and say that I don't think he built his empire on the backs of black people, discrimination. I think that his father is a different person. But if you actually go and talk to people that have worked for President Trump, people that have been associated that he has helped when it comes to loans and things like that, he has a very strong affirmation with black Americans. I mean, Oprah Winfrey loved him back in the day. And again, if he
he was a Democrat back then.
Sure, but I still think that speaks to it. But in Minnesota, absolutely. I think that President Trump is on track to do something historic. Now, I say to anybody that will listen that's on the Republican side or that views themselves as a disaffected liberal or former Democrat, we cannot take this for granted. We have to vote like our country actually depends on it. And if we continue that, I think the trend looks like we're going to shock the world here in Minnesota, flip the state for the first time in 52 years for a Republican candidate.
Well, the polls actually show in many respects, especially in the battleground states like Wisconsin and Michigan, some of the polls have Trump up.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think this election is that close?
Yeah, I think it's closer than what we see. But again,
closer than the polls?
Yeah, I think
that's pretty close.
Which to me means that I think that we actually have an advantage right now. But as I say to everyone, we cannot take it for granted. Things can always happen. What's interesting is that if you look at polling data, there is a significant percentage of people that make their decision within that last week. So what is happening today, it's possible that that changes. And if there's just a 1% swing, a 2% swing, it could change the entire election.
You know, that is a very good point, because I've actually gone out to different parts of the state and talked to voters in red parts, blue parts, maybe some purple parts, and I'm really struck by how many people have not made that final choice right yet. So you think there's still room there for the Trump supporters?
Yeah, I think that the data shows that right now Republicans are doing exactly as President Trump has been, out there advertising, saying make it too big to rig, make a plan to vote, bank your vote, protect your vote. And we're seeing that those early modeling data are showing that Republicans are doing exactly that in Minnesota and also across the country. So we have to keep up that pace. And for the Democrats, they're down. And so I think that you're going to see a significant change. And I think, again, Minnesota might shock the world. And not just for President Trump, but down the ticket. We might see a U.S. Senate in Royce White. We might see Joe Tayrab that defeats Angie Craig. We could see Tad Jude defeat and win that open seat in the third. So that, to me, is not outside the realm of possibility.
Especially the Amy Klobuchar. That would be a stunner. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll certainly see. Strange things have happened in Minnesota elections, haven't they?
Why not? Why not now? Why not here?
All right, Mr. Kamara, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we'll check in with you on future interviews just as this campaign continues to go on.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.